Hi, so welcome to today's video, and today I'm going to talk about something that I believe a lot of us have or a lot of us go through, but at the same time we hide it because it feels very difficult to confess, or it feels like I'm the only one who feels this way. So I must hide it, so I must not let anybody else know it, and hence we end up suffering within our own selves. And and today's topic is going to be about that, so that because it is important that we talk about it, because first thing is that you're not the only one going through it. A lot of us feel the same way, and it's not the end of it. You can always work upon it and go beyond it. So today's topic is not liking yourself, or the feeling a strong a strong sense of dislike or disapproval against your own self, or we can also call it self hatred. So what I'm going to talk about is, when you have negative feelings about your own self or against yourself. And this is something that I believe many of us feel, or many of us feel like this from within, but at the same time we never confess it, or we never believe that, I can work on this, or this is not my reality, because we are so consumed in the negativity. We are so consumed, or bought into the negative feelings that we have about our own selves. We believe that it is the truth. It is the way I am. I was born this way. So we start to feel that the problem is in me. So feel that this strong feeling of unworthiness, or this strong feeling that I am not good enough, it is happening because it is my reality, because it is my truth. So we try to hide it, because definitely we do not want the other person to know that I am unworthy or I am good for nothing. But hear it from me, or take it from me here right now, that it is not your truth. So even if you feel that you're not worthy of anything, or you're just consumed with so much negativity against your own self, or there's a strong sense of dislike or disapproval against your own self, you do not like the person that you are, or you have a lot of insecurities, or somewhere you secretly wish I was not this person, I wish I could look like them, or I could be like them, then I want you to know that that is not the reality. You were not born with these feelings. This is something that you develop growing up. So this is something that you adopt from your outside, from external environment. So it is very much possible for you to work upon it, because it is not your ultimate truth. But the first thing that needs to happen is this awareness, that you know that the negativity that I feel, the helplessness that I feel in my own self, or the feeling of uncomfortable that I feel in my own body, that the fact that I don't like myself, or I feel a strong sense of self-hatred against my own self, it's not truth. It can be worked upon. So let's go on with this topic. So first, let us find out, how does this impact you. So how does this make you feel, overall, or how your day-to-day life looks like. How do you feel within your own body when the core, when the foundation of yourself is self-hatred. First is, life starts to feel very difficult. Why? Because I believe that how I experience life, how you experience life, it's going to be starkly different. So, and that is why you would notice that for some people life seems very easy, very happening, very going. But for some other, you would see that, or for yourself you will feel that I feel very stuck, I feel very unhappy, because our experience of life, my experience of life would come from my core. How I see life and how I am going to perceive life or see life comes from my foundation of self, the kind of beliefs that I have, the kind of thoughts that I hold about myself and the world. So if I'm going to feel not good enough in my own self, if I'm going to feel uncomfortable in my own body, I'm not going to feel comfortable with anybody else also. I'm not going to feel good about other people also, about life also in general. So my view would get distorted about life also, because my view is already biased about my own self. So I already have a very negative bias about my own self, because when I think about my own self, I have a bias, I have a bent toward negativity. So that starts to reflect for life also, and that is why there is this saying that, your outer reality is just a reflection of your inner reality, inner world. Might sound very cliche, or ki, what does that exactly mean, how does that exactly happen? But it happens because your lens of how you see world changes. So if you're not liking yourself, if there's this core of self-hatred or strong dislike against your own self, life is going to feel difficult, because you are staying in the same body, you are seeing world, you're going to perceive other people, or you're going to think about world from that same lens, from that same mind, and hence life starts to feel difficult. That is, your entire life gets affected if your core is of self-hatred, or if there's this strong sense of dislike that is running your life. And that is why I believe that it is so much very important that if you feel this way, that you work on it, that you get to uh, that you gain more awareness about, that you gain more self-awareness, so that you understand yourself more, so that you don't end up convincing yourself that this is my reality, I was born to be this way, and I'm the only one who is feeling this way, I'm the worst of all. So that you do not end up spending your life being in a body that you do not like, because that's like a tragedy. That's the saddest of thing. That's like worst thing, I would say, a very sad thing instead, because it is not affecting anybody else. So it's like you are choosing to suffer in your own body, in your own self, and nobody else is being affected by it a lot. So first is that life starts to feel difficult. Second is that your self-talk, the way you talk to yourself, it's very critical. You are very critical of your own self. So blaming your own self, questioning yourself, uh, statements like why am I this way, or and it would all happen very internally. So it's your inner voice that talks to you this way. So something happens in your external world, and here you are starting to cursing your own self, that why am I this way, I wish I was not like this way, why couldn't I be just confident like that person, or this constant thing that I wish I was not this person but anybody else, I wish I was like them, I wish I walked like this, or I wish I could talk like them. So there's this strong dislike about your own self, about your own body. Next is that, yeah, you secretly, or you somewhere wish and pray to be like somebody else. What is this? It is coming from a belief, from a very strong thought that I do not want to be this person. So much dislike against your own self. And because you do not feel comfortable in your own body, you are not going to feel comfortable in the presence of anybody else also. So your ability to interact with other people, your ability to feel comfortable, to feel not even confident, I would not even say confident, but your ability to just feel peaceful, or just to exist in the presence of other people also gets impacted, which means that your ability to blend in socially or meet people, your social life gets affected. You start to dread social events, because if you're not feeling comfortable in your own self, if you feel that I am not good enough, that uh, uh, this thing is not good about me, your attention is just focused on your insecurities, you are going to feel that if I'm going to meet other people, they're also going to see me that way, they're also going to only see my insecurities, not me. And because you feel that way, you will have a natural instinct to avoid meeting other people, because when you're not feeling comfortable in your own self, you're not going to feel comfortable in other people's presence also, as a result of which your ability to form genuine connections, your ability to form healthy relationships with other also get impacted. Because when you're not feeling good in yourself, you're not going to let your real self be out there. You're never going to put out your original or real thoughts or beliefs with other people. You're not going to be yourself with other people. And when you do not let your authentic self be out, no connection happens. So nobody is going to feel connected with you. And when no connection happens, basically you feel alone, because you feel that I do not have any genuine relationship or connection in my life. I do not have a lot of people who I can share my feelings with, or who I can count on, which ends up making you feel even alone in life. So it's like, as I said, it impacts your life, career, relationship, all segments of life. But I think the biggest impact is that you do not feel good or peace or just calm in your own body every second. So this is how it shows up in your life, and that is why it's so much important that if you feel this way, that you work towards establishing a healthy relationship with your own self. Okay? And that is what my work is around. I help people build a healthy relationship with their own self. That is, I help people build a foundation of self-love in themselves. That is, I help them understand themselves, forgive themselves, and choose love for their own self. That come to a place where they believe that yes, I deserve love, and hence they make such choices in their life where with every action, every day, they move towards loving themselves even more. Okay. So basically, when we are this way, right, when we have such feelings in our own selves, that is self-hatred and strong dislike, on a very consistent basis, you would find yourself, the state of your mind would be very negative. So you would keep feeling inferior or small in your own self. And when you feel this way, when the consistent thoughts in your mind are, why am I not like this way? I wish I was like them, or I do not like this thing about my own self. When your entire attention is on your insecurities, shortcomings, weaknesses of how I'm not good enough, your confidence is the last thing that is going to come to you, right? You can try to fake it, but that is not helping anybody. Because what is confidence? Confidence is a feeling that you feel in your body, right? It radiates from you. And how does feeling happen? Feelings come from your thoughts. And when your consistent thoughts are like this, thoughts of disapproval, thoughts of rejection for the self, that I do not like myself, I wish I was not in this body, or I don't like myself, or I'm not good enough, you're not going to feel confident in your own self, right? And hence, no tips and tricks will help you here, because confidence is not about walking a certain way, or giving a speech in a certain way, or looking a certain way. Confidence comes up naturally, effortlessly, when the way you see yourself, when how you think of yourself, or the kind of relationship, the equation that you have with yourself is a healthy one, is a loving one, where you are self-assured, where you know yourself, where you know who you are, and then there's complete self-acceptance that I'm okay in this body. That is what confidence is. And then when you reach this place where you feel accepted, where you accept your own self, where instead of hitting on your insecurities, or making your entire being about your insecurities, you accept that, okay, these are my shortcomings, but here are my strengths also. I'm not defined by my shortcomings. These are just a part of me, and I accept that also. When you do that, that is confidence, and that would just naturally affect the way you walk, the way you carry yourself. Next is, let's understand, why do you feel this way? Why is it important that you must know this thing? Why do you feel this way? Or why do you have this strong feeling of dislike, disapproval against your own self? Because up until now, because unless you have this information, it's like you do not understand your own self. It's like you have just always known that, ever since I know, I've had this feeling about my own self. I can just recall that growing up, I've always felt this way. I've always felt this strong dislike, this strong disapproval or rejection from my own self. I don't know why. But there's a reason why you feel this way. And once you understand it, you will have more awareness about your own self. There will be more self-understanding, as a result of which you will stop questioning yourself, you will stop blaming yourself, which is very much important to move towards self-love, or a healthy relationship with your own self. So let's understand why you have a core of self-hatred, or why there's so much disapproval or dislike. So it's rooted in your childhood, because I believe, or I am saying that all of us are born with confidence, with complete value, with worth, right? Nobody of us is born with this person is born with less confidence. Yeah, this person is just born with self-hatred. No, we are all born neutral, right? With confidence, in fact with confidence and worth attached. It's the childhood, it's the journey of growing up where we lose it. How do we lose it? Because see, when we're growing up, we do not have an identity of our own, we do not know ourselves, and at the same time we lack this thinking brain, the brain cortex. So cortex is responsible for us rationalizing or thinking or making sense of the things. So when we are children, we do not have cortex, so we don't have the ability to think, to make out, to reason things, that why is this person behaving this way with me, or if somebody is calling me out, if I'm being bullied, what is the reason? So we do not have this sense of understanding. Okay, so we think from our body, we are just feeling beings. So now growing up, what happens is, when you're growing up, and if you feel rejected, if you feel unloved, and what makes you feel unloved? It's basically when one of your caregivers, that is your parents, primary caregivers. So if you felt rejected, or if you felt unloved, or not appreciated from one of your parents, thus the impact is significant. So if you, on a consistent basis, you felt that, this person, which is going to be one of your parents, I don't feel loved by them, I don't feel accepted by them, it is going to affect how you think about your own self. Because as children, how we try to make sense of things is that, if this person thinks that I'm not worthy of love, I'm not worthy of their attention, then there must be some problem in me. I must have something wrong in me. I must lack something. So For us, problem can never be in the outside world. So our parents are God for us, right? That is how we are wired in childhood. They are God for us. So the problem, we are always going to seek problem in us, that I must be the problem. Something must be wrong in me, that this person is not appreciating me, that this person is not taking out time to show me the love, that they are not able to make me feel loved. And when you feel this way, and when we make it about our own self, it's basically that we form a belief that I am not good enough. And the self-hatred or the dislike, strong dislike that you feel today as an adult, it's nothing but it's those, those decisions which have become intense over time. So now, as a child, we make such conclusions, such decisions, that something is wrong in me, the problem is in me, right? We start to feel it. It's not that we made a decision verbally in a sentence, because we could not think back then. We just adopted this feeling. We picked upon this feeling of being rejected, of being unloved, and we made it about our own selves. We internalized their rejection about us. That if this person rejected me, if I felt rejected, then I am worthy of being rejected only. We make it about our own selves. And so that's how we we come to a place as an adult where we have strong dislike, strong disapproval against our own selves. Yes. So I want you to understand that the negative feelings that you have against your own self, maybe you think that, like, for you it would make sense that I know I because by now as an adult you will have a lot of evidence, a lot. If I ask you to give me a list of, okay, tell me why do you not like yourself, or why there's so much feeling of dislike against your own self, you will have a list that I cannot walk this way, I cannot do this thing, I do not look this way. But I want you to know that is just something that you have made, that okay, that it's like once the core is of dislike, that negativity, that dislike starts to spread in every other area of your life also. So it's like your lens becomes biased. Once you start to feel that I'm not good enough, you're going to find out even more evidences of why I'm not good enough. So even if there's no problem in the way you talk, there's no problem in the way you walk or the way you look, you are going to see it that way, that you know what, this feature of mine is not good enough, this doesn't look enough. So I want you to know that the way of living, the way how you see yourself, the way how your relationship with yourself is, you have adopted it, you have picked it up from your outside. Like, because the way our parents behave with us, the way they talk to us, the way they love us, and love can be of different way. Love can be disapproval also. We learn to love ourselves from our parents. So the way they behaved with us, we internalize it, we make it about our own self. We think that, okay, that is the way how it is done, and hence you have been living like that, like, for so long, because we think that, see, as a children we did not have any option. We were dependent upon other people to live, to feel a certain way, because we cannot regulate when we are children. But as an adult we forget that we are very much fully developed with the choice to do anything. We can regulate our own selves, we can think, we can rationalize, we can reason. So now that you have awareness, I want you to understand that as an adult, you have the ability to regulate your own self, to choose differently for your own self, to treat yourself the way you want. You have the ability to do anything. Alright. So now that you know, okay, why do I feel self-hatred, or why there is this strong feeling of dislike, I want you to stop blaming yourself. Take away that self-blaming or self-critical voice, that why am I this way? Why do I not like myself? I hope now you understand that it's not your fault. It's no one's fault. But I want you to understand it, because when you come from a place of understanding, it's like acknowledging the things for what they were, right? Not taking out anger on anybody कि इसकी गलती है, मेरी गलती है, but rather coming from a place of that, okay, this is something that happened and this led me to be this way. So the fact that I feel this way today, it is because I felt like that growing up. I felt that the problem was in me. Hence, I just kept feeding onto that feeling of that I'm not enough, and I came to a place where all I can feel about myself is negative feelings. That all I can feel about myself is that how I'm not good enough. So I want you to come from a place of understanding. And now that you know why you feel that way, let go of questioning your own self, that the problem is in me. Why am I this way? I'm the worst of all. Okay. So now that you understand, now that you have all this understanding, let's come to the last section. And today I'm not going to talk about, okay, what can you do or what you need to do, because today's video is a lot about having awareness, understanding yourself, getting to know yourself or how you feel yourself, why you feel that way in depth. So I do not have a lot of action steps that I want you to take right away, because understanding or having new insights is also a very big action. It's like inner work. So all the things that you're getting to know today, let it sit inside you. Reflect on it. Give time to sit with these new information. Reflect on it. Okay, so let's move to the takeaways. Here are some takeaways that I want you to take from this video. First is that I want you to know that we are all born with value, innate value and self-worth, right at the time of our birth. Because a lot of time what happens is, when we are so consumed in this negativity, when we are so consumed by our negative thoughts and beliefs about our own selves, when the foundation, when the core of self-hatred is so strong, we start to feel that I was born this way. You know what? I was born to be not confident. I can never be confident. Just confidence is just not my thing. I was born to be this way. I want you to know that we were all born with innate value and self-worth. And here's a very beautiful analogy or something that I learned from my own coach, that I want you to think of it this way. Just like most of us, like each of us is born with a nose, eyes, lungs, liver, all of us are also born with something like self-worth. So I want you to look at self-worth like that. So we are all born with self-worth. It's just that you lose it on the way, right? How do you lose it? When you when you try to make sense of who you are through other people. Because as children, it's just two people who are your entire world. And when you feel rejected, when you feel that I do not deserve their attention, I do not deserve their appreciation and love, you feel that I am not worthy of their love, I am not worthy of their appreciation. And hence you make a decision there. And you do not realize, but you grow up believing into or just clinging to that decision, clinging into that belief so much. And the more you believe into that thing, the more you create similar situation or similar experiences into your life. And the more you encounter similar experiences into your life, the more that belief gets strengthened, that the problem is in me. Yeah, so I want you to know that we are all born with innate value and self-worth. That is, at the core, you are valuable. You were always worthy of all the good things in the world. It is just that you lost touch with it, or it's just that you bought into manipulation in between the journey, and now it's about letting go of that manipulation. So I want you to let go of that feeling that there's something wrong in me. And I know right now it will be very strong, but just have this awareness that it is not true, that there's nothing wrong in you. It's just that you started to feel that way. Okay? Second thing, I want you to stop waiting for that one person to validate you, to accept you, to give you their love. Because oftentimes what happens is, when we had such an experience where we felt unloved or unappreciated by this one specific person in our life, what happens is that we end up withdrawing our love from our own self, that we reject ourselves the permission to love ourselves, because we hold this strong resentment that why did this person not love me, that why did this person not validate me. And it's like we are holding anger against them, but it's burning us actually, because we end up withdrawing love from our own self. So we end up not allowing ourselves to love ourselves, or rejecting good things for our own selves, from our own life, because somewhere there's this resentment that I want this person to tell me that I'm worthy of love, I want this person to validate me. And who is this actually person that feels this anger, this resentment? It's your inner child. It's a child version of you. So now I want you to think from your rational, like as an adult, I want you to use this thinking brain of yours, and I want you to give up on this expectation that I want this person to tell me that they love me. Only then I can love myself. Only then I will feel worthy enough. And why so? Because see, here you might be here waiting that feeling entitled, but you know what? Who is actually feeling this entitled to being loved? It's the child version of you. Because as a child, love is like food. We need love for survival. But as an adult, that is not true. As an adult, you are very much capable of loving your own self, of regulating your own self, of choosing for your own self. And that's the whole point of it. That's why this awareness is important, because now you can choose for it. So why right now you're feeling so entitled to that this person should come and love me, but because right now you don't understand, you feel that they did you wrong. But as an adult, I want you to think that if there was this person who could not love you as a child, when you were a child, I want you to understand that they cannot love you even today, and come from a place of objectivity and understanding that they cannot love you because they just never had the capacity ever in them to love you. And why one does not have the capacity to love somebody sorry, why one doesn't have the capacity to love somebody, it is because they do not have it themselves. So anybody who you feel that they did not love me, or they did not make me feel appreciated, or there's this very strong emotional attachment of resentment, which is now turned into resentment, expectation, and a very unhealthy equation within. I want you to understand that they could never love you because they did not have it in themselves, because they never loved themselves. How do you expect somebody to give you something that they did not have with their own selves? Come from a place of understanding and objectivity. Why? Because I want you to let go of this expectation. I want you to stop waiting for them to come and maybe ask you for forgiveness. And here I'm not asking you to approve of what they did, or I'm not telling you that what they did was it is justified. No, but I want you to come from a place of understanding, so that you can free yourself, so that you can come to a place where you start to believe that I am worthy of love. Just because somebody could not love me because they had their own issues, I know that back then I thought that it was about me, but now as an adult I'm accepting that it was not about me, it was about them. So now hereby I'm choosing to love myself. I'm choosing to feel, I'm choosing to come to a decision that I am worthy of all the good things, like love and everything involved. Because none of it was ever about me, it was about their own issue. Even if it was somebody else at your place, they would have acted the same way. Okay, so last thing that I want you to do is, now this is kind of like action work. I want you to make a list of all the things that you do not like yourself for. And I know it will be a very long list, because by now, because it all just started with one feeling that am I not good enough. But over the time, because once we build that score of maybe I am the problem, we start to look at everything about with that lens, so that negativity spreads at every area of our life. So by now I'm sure you have a long list of things that you do not like about yourself. You have collected so many things that, oh, you know what, my hair don't look good, this thing is about me is very bad, or I wish I could be this way. So you have a long list. So make a list of all the things that you do not like yourself for, because I want you to get it out of your mind, put it on a paper, break the loop out there. Because right now it's just those feelings and thoughts that keeps running in your body and mind entirely. So it's like it has hijacked your entire being. So I want you to get it out on a paper, so that you have some clarity over things. And do one favor for me, also make a column for my strengths, the good things about me. And I'm sure you will have a very hard time thinking of it, but try to do it. You will have a reality check that, okay, this is how I'm believing about myself right now. And once you've done that, give your time, and once you've done that, I want you to understand that whatever is on paper, the 1-2 items that you have in the strength column, and the entire paper that you have filled up in the shortcomings or weaknesses or why I don't like myself column, I want you to look at it and understand that it's not your reality, but it's how you have come to believe about yourself. It's how your self-image is about your own self, because that is nothing but a reflection of how you see yourself as. And as long as it remains like that, you are not going to feel confident in your own self. You're not going to like who you are. Like, you're not going to feel proud of who you are. So when we actually come to build a healthy relationship with ourselves, there are various steps. So first would be self-acceptance, and under which it would come first is understanding yourself and forgiving yourself. After that, we would move towards having self-awareness, where we build our self-awareness and we let go of the negative feelings that we have, and at the same time we move towards building a very empowering self-image, that is we give ourselves a chance to explore ourselves again. Because like up until now we had been feeding upon few beliefs that we formed as children, right, as child. But now we want to explore ourselves again. Now we want to build new real beliefs about our own selves. And how do we do that? By doing belief work, that is by letting go of our negative beliefs that we have about our own selves. And how do we do that? By processing, by sitting with it, by giving ourselves that time, right? And how do we build newer thoughts? We don't force it, right? Belief is like a muscle. So to solidify new beliefs, we take newer actions into our life. And we don't take forceful action. We don't take action by going against our own self, by forcing ourselves. No. We do all of this work with a lot of compassion, with a lot of kindness, with a lot of willingness. So we take ourselves together on this journey. It's not like I'm against my own self. So we do not cover this journey while feeling uncomfortable in our own self. So we first choose ourselves. That okay, I'm willing to believe that okay, whatever I have been feeling for myself till here, it was not truth, and I'm willing to give myself a new chance. Hence we choose self-compassion. We build a foundation of self-love, and then we move toward building a positive or empowering self-image for our own self. It's a gradual journey, but a journey which all of us must cover, because living your life feeling this way, living your life with a core that has judgment for the self, that has dislike or disapproval for the self, it's like it is going to affect every second of your life, because your entire life you're going to be in the same body, right? Other people will come and go, but you are going to have to stay in the same body forever. So isn't it only natural that you give yourself a chance to build a healthy, a loving relationship with your own self, the body that you're in? How beautiful life would start to feel if you start to feel comfortable and peaceful in the body you are. Yeah, so this was it for today, and I want to end this video by asking you to go with this insight that the self-hatred and dislike that you're feeling right now, it's not your ultimate truth, it's not your reality, it is something that you've picked up. You are born with innate value and self-worth. All right, so it's about tapping into it again. As I believe, you lose confidence is not an alien thing that you will learn from outside. No, confidence is always inside you. It's about remembering it, it's about getting in touch with it again. Okay, so yes, whatever things that were new to you, that you got from this video, anything, it can be anything, insights can be anything that is new to your system. It could be the fact that you know what, the feeling that I've been feeling for so long, and the feeling of shame that I have about it, that I'm the only one feeling like this, and you know what, that I'm the worst of all. But the new information that you got from today's video, that you're not alone, this could be a life-changing insight for you. Sit with it more, reflect on it more, let it sit into your system. Only then you will feel the shift. So yes, reflect on it, reflect on these insights, let it sit with it. And if you want to build a healthy relationship with your own self, or if you feel a very strong feeling of dislike against your own self and you want to work on it, you want a space where you can let your feelings be out, meet yourself truly, be honest with your own self, and move towards self-love and a healthy relationship with your own self, you're very much welcome. You can book a one-on-one call with me. For that, you would have to DM me DM me coaching on my WhatsApp. And if you're watching me on YouTube, for that, then you must join my private community on WhatsApp first. For that, I have the link in the description. Join the group there, and from there you can always DM me coaching if you want to have a one-on-one clarity call with me. All right, then I'll meet you tomorrow with another video, and we will dive into another depth around topics like unhealthy self-esteem, or not feeling good about your own self, or all of that. Okay, then I'll see you tomorrow.